Good morning, XRP Collective. This is XRP Lion 1 here. Wanted to go over some quick information. I was led back by the Lord to May 17th of 2020 when 60 Minutes did an interview with Chairman Powell. And it was actually quite interesting. Let's talk about the House rules. You know what? Let's not. You know the rules. Thank you very much for following them. Critical information here. When I went back and looked at the interview in YouTube, I noticed it had been cut and edited, and they brought a whole bunch of information in about fireside chats, about Ben Bernanke. Every single place they put these in, they took out pertinent information with regards to what Powell had to say during that particular interview. But guess what they didn't do? They couldn't alter the transcript. The transcript had already gotten out. And let's take a quick little view, a couple minutes long, with regards to what Chairman Powell had to say. Pay particular attention to when Ben Bernanke comes in and Pele goes off to his interview with
There's only one question that anyone wants an answer to, and that is, when does the economy recover?
It's a good question and very difficult to answer because
This Sunday on 60 Minutes, Jerome Powell decided to sit down with us to communicate to the American people what it is that the Federal Reserve is doing, to tell people that the banks are safe and sound, and also to send a message to Congress.
Support for the banking system. Here, really, the problems are in what we call the real economy, actual companies that make and sell goods and services. Good companies in sound financial condition as recently as February, but now they have no business and they have fixed costs, so we're trying to help them get through that period.
Traditionally, chairmen and chairwomen of the Fed do not do interviews because every single thing they say will move the markets all around the world. We broke that tradition on 60 Minutes back in 2009 during the Great Recession, when Ben Bernanke, the Fed chairman at that time, decided to sit down with us. When I called and proposed this interview about a year ago, your representative laughed.
This case that there will be more layoffs probably this month and next month.
And your people are projecting what, 20%? 25%?
There are a range of perspectives, but those numbers sound about right for what the peak may be.
I wonder, do you expect double-digit unemployment?
Well, it's hard to forecast exactly where we're going. Unemployment is rising, job losses are still very severe, and no doubt the unemployment rate is going to go higher than it is.
In my view, the American people are incredibly lucky that Ben Bernanke was chairman of the Federal Reserve in 2008. He had spent most of his life in academia as a PhD economist, and his area of study was the causes of the Great Depression. I think that Jay Powell is suited to this crisis. He's not a PhD economist, but he is a man who is concerned about the people in the lower half not having the opportunities that they should have.
The people who are getting hurt the worst are the most recently hired, the lowest paid people. It's women to an extraordinary extent. Of the people who were working in February, who were making less than $40,000 per year, almost 40%, have lost their jobs in the last month or so. The people who can afford it the least are being hurt the worst. That's right. The pain is very widely spread, but clearly it is falling the most on those who are least in a position to bear it.
You know, I was sure that a global pandemic was the kind of thing that the Federal Reserve would have planned for, that they would have written reports about this years ago, maybe had tabletop exercises like they do at the Pentagon to game out what would happen. And I asked a senior official, a former senior official at the Federal Reserve, is this something you guys worked on? He said, no, that wasn't something that we were planning on. He said, we were much more concerned just a few years ago with cyber attacks, with what would happen to the economy if the entire electricity grid was attacked and the lights went out. But pandemic was just not one of the things that we were thinking about.
Dispense supplements in office or virtually on one.
I thought you might appreciate this. I went back over to the actual video when Powell spoke back on May 17th, and you can see it right here. And I went back through the video, and they have literally pulled out the section where he talked about creating digital money and how the central bank, as the central bank, they can give the money any value that they want. And this is the actual transcript. So what I did is I went and found that particular section, and I'm scrolling down to it here. It's on page 8. This is still available on the internet. And here it is right here. And this is exactly how the question was phrased. It said, where does the money come from? Do you just print it? And Powell said, this isn't the actual transcript because I remember exactly what he said. He said, yes, we print it digitally. And he said, we just put it into the computer. And then he paused and he said, because we're a central bank, we have the ability to give the money whatever value we want. And you can see how they've altered it. But it even says create digital money. We have the ability to create digital money, but he actually said to give it whatever price we want. And then he didn't say any of this stuff about buying treasury bonds or anything like this. And now you can't even find it because they've taken it out of the original May 17th video. So I thought you'd like to see that.